process. I don't train this in 2 or 3 days. Actually, being soft on the rein can take 3-4 weeks and continues when I prepare the horse for the first riding. So, but when the horse is very soft on the direct rein and you start to show the whip to the diagonal ear, then pretty soon when you show the whip to the ear, the horse knows how to come. Another way is also that you start with a goodie. So you are standing next to the horse, you touch the horse where the focus leg is, and you show the goodie. Pretty soon they know when you go in your pocket, you touch the horse and you go in your pocket, they come. And first you do it towards you, and then you start to do it away from you. And there it's good that your horse knows. It's very helpful when you are on a mounting block. You can take your whip in your left hand, for example, and you go over the back. You start to touch with your whip on the focus leg, and you show in the other hand the goodie. So the horse starts to come. When the horse is looking away from you, you touch again on the inside where you are standing. And the horse will start also to come. So pretty soon they know from the whip, from the rein, the softness, from the goodie, and then you have to start to work with on the ground with your hands or with the whip, but towards you and away from you. On the podesque, and the goodie can disappear the more you do it. And yeah. It's a small process, but the goodie is very helpful. You can also see it here. Even they don't know it, but they know bending around the inside pocket. You go with your hand in your pocket and they say, oh, probably there's a goodie. But you only have to be now smart. First to use the focus leg. And the focus leg, there's a difference between yielding leg and focus leg. Focus leg is for me, my toes go down and I make a little touch with my heel. And yielding leg is it's coming from my calf. So it's this rotation. My heel actually is turning in the direction of the outside front leg. That's not your question, but many mistakes with yielding are that people start to pull up the leg. And then you create the wrong rotation. It's always very important, this rotation to the inside, so that the hip goes down, and here it goes up. So this rotation we should not disturb. When you sit on your horse and you pull up your leg, we will not change the rotation, but we go against a proper biomechanic movement. That is, I think, very important to look to how your horse is moving on a circle, and then what do you see there? Yesterday we spoke also about inside rein aid, how dangerous it is. What is this here? Germany, Switzerland. Germany, Switzerland.
Primera.
Okay, wait there.
So now you know why? Because we are so close to Turkey.
Yeah. I put it off. Okay. So, if you sit on a horse, shall I take my wooden horse, then it's easier to understand. So if you sit on a horse and we are going on the right hand and you use your inside rein, that will make connection there on top of the neck. So when this leg steps forward, the hip is sinking and the horse rotates in this direction. That means the lower part of the neck goes in this direction, the upper part goes in this direction. So many people, they want the yielding leg, and they start also to use the rein when the horse is falling on the inside shoulder. But the yielding leg should come, the 8, yielding leg 8, when this leg is leaving the ground. That's the moment that we have this rotation and the lift from the shoulder. So when this comes up, the shoulder is lifted, the neck goes in this direction, and you do this in that moment. So you will never have a full big step from the inside hind leg. You block this step because the body cannot rotate completely because you are blocking this here. And that's why it is so good to teach a horse an outside rein without having influence on the head. That's another thing. Now we are with the basic secondary aids. But many people, that's also why it's nice to have a neck rein. You have no influence on when you use the outside rein on the horse's head. Because many people, they want to turn the shoulder to the inside, and then they make pressure on the outside rein, and they create something like this. Because they pull the head in the wrong direction. And often we see this, and then the horse falls on this shoulder again. So to make a horse straight and have proper biomechanics, you always need the head in the direction of movement where you go. And the focus leg is very helpful in that matters. The moment that the horse understands the focus leg, you don't need a direct rein anymore. And the moment that the horse understands the stop and the backwards from a rein but against the neck, so you take the reins in one hand, so they are squeezed here, and that's also the reason why I use the reins like a bozal, close to each other, because then the connection on the neck is much better. And the both reins, they will touch the neck quicker when everything is squeezed together, so that I from the beginning doesn't need pressure on the nose, on the skull from the horse. That's my main thing, that I can go away from the head with my signals as quick, as soon as possible. That's why I teach from the beginning soft stop reins. You lift your hand, the rein is make connection with the neck, the horse learns to stop. And you will see very quick there when the horse knows when the rein is coming against the neck and knows how to stop there. Bit by bit, you create the lift from the chest already. You will see, and if you observe many horses, when they pull on a rein and they have connection with the head goes always there. Stupid riders, they think that they can solve the problem with slofzügel. You know slof? Yeah. So that the horse cannot bring the head up. Yeah, the horse will not bring the head up anymore, but the chest goes down. So when you force the head to go down, the horse will drop the chest. And that's the opposite what we want from the horse when we train a horse. Lifting the chest, that's the main thing, that the horse learns to get up in the chest and get lighter in the front legs. And therefore we need a hind leg who comes forward. So there are so many steps to explain a horse lift the chest. But my basic secondary aids, they are produced to get this directly from the beginning. That's why I really understand the sentence from Bent Branderup. Basic is only basic when it is basic for something. there are so many things that you can do with horses. And if you don't want to ride your horse, that's all fine for me. You know, you can treat your horse like a dog, and that's okay. But if you want to sit on his back, if you want to ride him, you make an athlete from him. This is not something that he can do from one day to another. He has to take weight on his back, and that needs a lot of work. Why is this a lot of work? We have a collarbone, Schlüsselbein. Yeah, horses don't have that. So they lean with this part of the body between shoulders, and these are only muscles, veins, and fascia. But there is no bone where the horse can support himself with. So if we then go and sit on the horse, there is a lot of pressure on these muscles between the shoulders. That's why we have to change that the hind legs are stepping much more to the point of weight, and that we clearly see a lift from the chest. The horse becomes lighter and more turnable, wendig. That's what we want. And of course, some horses are more talented to reach that state. For other horses, it's more tricky. That's what I meant yesterday when I said, yeah, we go out, we look a horse in the eyes, we fall in love, and we buy the horse. And then we come home, and it can happen that we have not really enough knowledge. And then, yeah, we have to work, and the horse is heavy on the hand, and a horse who is heavy on the hand, that's simply a horse who leans on the front legs and is pushing from behind. And that is what we have to change. So the basic secondary aids, they are, from the beginning, I always tell people from the ground in riding, 7. If you train your horse every week 1 aid, and you do it 4 times a week, 10 to 15 minutes, these are 7 weeks. But a clear vision, you know, this is the direction, this is what I train now. This 7 secondary aids, after 2 months, 3 months, you have a light horse. That is what it is. But you do groundwork, do handwork, train the lunging, but focus on the rider aids, the secondary rider aids. People, they want quarter in, they want renvers, they want side movements, but there is no lightness in the basic. They still have to pull on a head with pressure on the rein to stop a horse. Basic means that you can stop your horse with no reins anymore. Basic means that you can ride your horse backwards with no reins, with no neck rope. That your horse goes backwards on your seat, where your point of weight is rolling to. It's like you sit on a big ball, and if you want to roll the ball backwards, this is how you should ask your horse to go backwards. If you roll the ball forward when you sit on the horse, this is how you should ask your horse how to go forward. And we have this closed seat and we have an open seat. And if you want something from your horse, you close your seat. The horse, that is a preparation for something. And then it's your upper body who tells him, where shall we go, together with your point of weight. It's not something like this, for example, you see, that you push the horse in this direction when you lean there. No, it's always bring everything together. Your hip, your shoulders, and then the turn a little bit in your upper body who explains the horse where to go. But the focus leg is a very important thing to the word. That's why I called it focus leg. Focus. It can happen that you are outside with your horse and suddenly something happens and the horse looks, it's really focused on that. But it's also important that he looks in front of him. We all know then we take the opposite rein and we pull the head back to get the horse forward. in the direction to look. It can happen that there is a car or something in front and suddenly you see something there. You want him to see the car and not what is happening there. And then it's nice when you don't need. And I train my horses, I give a lot of distractions, so I go also outside and train this also out. When it's there in the arena, you have to go out, that you have noise, movement, so that the horse is distracted, and then see if the horse also is listening. I can guarantee you that you can make a nice canter pirouette in this indoor arena, but then go out in an open field and try to do it again. That's something completely else. There's a lot of distractions. Yeah. If I go in the forest and I see a nice place with a tree, can I make a canter pirouette around this tree? It's something completely else. You go in your arena and it goes very light. You see, so training a horse in an arena, that is one thing, but you need distractions to get a complete trained horse, yeah?
If the horse is falling on the front leg and it's caused by the body of the horse, is then just training the basic aids enough, or should I make collection work at first that the horse can get light on?
Yeah, no. Every horse can come in horizontal balance. The horizontal balance is not collection.
Okay.
Horizontal balance is that you divide the weight over the forelegs. You will feel that, you will have lightness then. The horse is not leaning, is not bringing the head deep to the ground anymore. Some horses, they, when you give the reins, they are running with the nose over the ground. Especially when they are trained by competition riders with slofzügel, and when you let the reins loose, they let the head fall down, simply because they don't have the muscles to come up in the chest. So by training this, I see your horse, for example, the Norwegian pony, that is not the easiest horse to bring in balance. He's a lovely horse, and I see you like him, so that is fine. But there, also this horse can come in a horizontal balance. Collection will be difficult. That was what happening with my horse. Ben also said, you can bring him in horizontal balance, but collection will never be possible. I said, okay, Mr. Branderup, the game is on. So this is also but this takes a lot of effort, you know, and professionalism and working with your horse. Then everything is possible. The time that I spent with my tricky horse, yeah, much time, really much time, but not 2-3 hours after each other. No, but there were days that I did 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the afternoon to keep him motivated. But yeah, now he is there. But I know that this is not possible for everybody. If you have a job, if you have children, if you have a husband, yeah, that's a lot of work. You have already a job. And then you have also to train your own horse. And it's maybe one horse. For me, I'm standing up in the morning, 10 till 12 hours horses. It's obvious for me. You can make me blind. I know what to do. You know what I mean? But for you, one horse, maybe you train 3 times, half an hour a week. Yeah, you need 1,000 hours to become a horseman or woman. 1,000 hours. So if you train 2 hours a week, that's 100 hours a year. You know what I mean? Then we are 10 years further. And you have no continuing. It's not obvious for you because you don't do it. You do 1 horse a week. Yeah. A professional trainer. And it's not just 1 year. I do this, I'm now 56 years into horses, so I cannot imagine one day without a horse. So for me, so I understand that it's not easy to bring every horse, but the horizontal balance is possible without quarter-in, without Reynvoet. You need versatile work. And then you see nice, proper elasticity, biomechanics. Very, very nice. That's the thing. For example, yesterday with your horse, it's also not an easy horse to bring him to make him, but we had lightness, we had horizontal balance with the neck rein. I never saw him trotting so beautiful than yesterday with this horizontal balance. So the thing is, when we have this feeling of horizontal balance, we think we can do more. Instead of training this for many years to get the lightness there, to develop the back muscles. And if you ride bitless, if you ride with a neck rein, the horse suddenly, in his hopefully not losing craziness, he will start to show things like, hey, I can show you collection now. In a certain moment, I was playing with my horse. He never was lifting the front legs, never at all. I mean, completely away from the ground. And suddenly in the playing, wham, round upper neck, pull, full up. I stopped and I said, oh my God, you know how to do it, so we can find this. So I did a lot of playing with him and did this again. Running backwards, he came to me and I made this movement. And more you saw from a passat, he came to a levat in this work. And now I can already start to do it also in the riding. Never thought that this horse could do a levat, never. He's not there, it's not perfect, but I'm happy. And I'm sure that, that one day we probably can make it. It's not the most important thing, but he starts to offer it. And that's the beauty about riding bitless and riding with a neck rein. You feel the heaviness. And of course, that's what the most people do. It's easier with a bit in the mouth. Yeah, of course, you lift the head. It's a false lightness. It's not the lightness who's coming from the chest and the hind legs forward. You cannot reach that in 2-3 days. People think that they can, when the horse is heavy bitless, they take the bit in the mouth, they start to ride, and they say, oh, now I have lightness. You forget it. No, you raise the head, you raise the neck, but you sit at a hang mat. This is not lifting the chest, and that is why my sentence is, the only bit we need is a bit of knowledge. Patience, passion, and perseverance. That's what makes a horseman so special. And not quick fixes and quick solutions and yeah, not my kind. I don't want that anymore. I also did make these mistakes. I have the experience from doing bad things. I was for more than 20 years a competition rider, jumping. My happiness was gone, I can guarantee you. I had no own horse anymore. I was riding for other people, and money and being the best, that was the most important. And then suddenly you come to the conclusion, why the hell I am doing this? Luckily, I came to that conclusion. Yeah. I think, why should we hurry? For what reason? For being the best in competition? Well, we should all stand up and say, stop with competition with horses. Now. Immediately. That's where I'm standing for. That we can work towards something that we both like. And this is really a great feeling, believe me, this magical feeling of a horse who is carrying you and is happy in his work. A happy athlete. That's really a fantastic feeling. A horse who is running from behind in the meadow to you and to say, come on, it's boring here in the meadow. Do something with me, I like it. Yeah, this is the thing what we should go for. And start with simple basic. That makes a horseman so great. A horseman who is working on the basic. And I know when I give clinics, it's not spectacular. Not at all. But I see after a few clinics that the people in the mind are growing. And that they get a clear picture how can we develop? What can we do? How should be the feeling? Feeling. Stop with looking to your horse. Stop with looking when you sit on the horse to his ears. There's nothing to see. Look where you go and feel what your point of weight is doing. If your point of weight should make the track, should make the circle. And if this point of weight is going away from the circle, you can only feel that if you look in front of you. Where am I going? And then you can correct it. And if you cannot correct it in that moment, stop the horse. Pause for a moment and have a clear picture in your mind. How can I do it now? For example, you go in a circle and the horse is falling in with the shoulder, but you cannot bring him back where your point of weight is. First of all, you have to know something goes wrong with my point of weight. I see many people, they are not aware that they cannot make a circle. They have no feeling for a circle. They have no feeling for where they are, simply because they think too much. But when you have it, that's the first thing. That's what I tried to explain to you all. But when you have it and you feel it's not working, don't continue in walk, for example, when it's not working, or in trot. No, you have to explain it from standing. You stop, give a break to the horse, and then make a clear picture in your mind and ask again. And there, the whip is not a tool to hit your horse or to punish him. No, this is a fantastic tool to explain things to your horse. It's the lengthening of your arm. When I sit on my horse, I cannot reach the inside hind leg with my hand. When I do that, yeah, I don't sit correctly anymore. So when I do it with my whip, and I still look in front of me and aware of my point of weight, I feel what happens. If the hind legs are turning behind me, I should feel, I should learn how it feels when this happens. If I turn the front and not the hind, how is this feeling? These little things, that's where you should focus on. And then you can explain, if you know the 7 secondary aids, and you are connected with your point of weight, you will develop. If I turn the shoulder in and the horse goes forward with my point of weight, I can easily say to the horse, no, because the horse is then already light on the stop rein. So I ask with my body and an outside rein, come in this direction. He goes there, no, I don't mean this direction. I communicate again. No, yes, stop, reward. If you do this a week, 3-4 times, 10 minutes, believe me, at the end you will feel, ooh, he starts to follow your upper body. Every heavy horse on the front will do that. But you cannot start with an indirect outside rein. It's not possible because the horse doesn't know where to keep the head. If I start directly with an outside rein, and the horse doesn't know to be light on a stop rein, and he goes forward, what shall you do? Probably pulling more on the outside rein, and then we have this head again. Or you pull on both reins and force him to go in this direction. That is not an understandable, slow process explanation for the horse. That's why this order is first riding, light on a forward leg, stop on a stop rein, soft on a direct rein. In standing, when a horse can do this and is not moving the front legs, he starts to be aware of how to balance his front legs while he's moving his head. Try with a young horse, pull on from the ground, pull on a rein to the right, he will fall to the right. Pull on a rein to the left, he will fall to the left. That's what they have to learn. To use the head free from the body. That's the first thing. That's why it is first riding. How do I teach my horses, for example, how to go forward? I never have a helper, somebody who helps me on the longe, a longeur or whatever. In the academic art of riding, they have a second person who teach a young horse to take the rider. So one is sitting on the horse, the other one starts to launch the horse. Still the horse takes the aids from the rider. I never do it like this. It's my way, I know it, because this came when I was a child. My father said, in the weekend we will have people for this pony there, try to catch him and try to sit on him. Then he could sell the horse. So what could we do? I was alone, putting food under a tree, and he came and was eating there, and then I jumped on his back and hoped to stay on his back. So I fell off, and I repeat, desensitizing the horse. Food under the tree, bam, on his back, buck, 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 off. Again. Food under the tree, bam, on his back, buck, 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 off. Suddenly, bang on his back, continuing with eating. Okay. A rope around his neck, get off, halter on. This is how I did it in my way. Now I don't do it this way anymore, but at least how I started there, it's still there. I was teaching my horses, standing next to them, pushing them over, and then with my right hand over the back, push them over, the reins loose. When he made a few steps, I followed. And then often I use my left hand on my body to say, go forward. And then I said, stop. Always away from me. Pushed away, he was moving, stop. Then I jumped on his back, sure that he went backwards, that I could stop him when he did crazy things, backwards, and then took my direct rein, leaning with my upper body in this direction, my whip a little bit here on the shoulder, this leg, he made a few steps, reins loose. And in the beginning they did nothing more than hop, and they stopped. They had no idea what to do. So, other direction. Hop, they stopped. Okay. They started to move. Then make sure that they can stop when they start to move. Yeah, this is how I bring my horses forward. And you will see that in the movies on my academy and also on YouTube. It's still there. This is something which is now 40 years old. It's in my system. I did it when I was 10 till 14 years old, so I'm now 61. Yeah. And by becoming older, I started to think how I could explain it. And by starting to thinking how I could explain it for the people, it became also better for the horses. And now I made, I don't know how many horses I made saddle fit. For example, now I had this young stallion from Sandra. I had my operation on my knee. So 3 weeks later, I started to make this horse saddle fit with first riding. So if he would buck and I would fall off, I had a big problem. I was not allowed to fall off my horse. But I am so sure about my system and the way how to do it, my horses, they don't buck anymore. So this horse was prepared before, of course. He is at our place when he was 3 years old. He's now 6. Yeah, and this process with this Donny boy is now completely filmed from when he is 3.5 till now in the basic riding. And this process we separated from in nice movies for the academy. So we have already films like first riding and basic riding, but here you see the process with an untrained horse. Actually, the way how I do it always. So everything is there showing how to do it. But I can only say, focus on this secondary rider aids. And now, which are the secondary rider aids? So, I'm listening. You should shut up. Because I know that you know it. But normally everybody should know it here. Not too quick, I have to write it down. Which one is the most important when you start? Stop. Stop. But how can you teach a stop rein when the horse is not going forward?
On the ground.
Yeah. But then he should go forward on the ground.
And you can do a backwards.
Ah, so you see the stop rein and the backwards is the same. That's sometimes a question. Yeah, but my horse is not going forward. How can I train the stop rein? Backwards is the same. If he stands still, tell him to go backwards. So stop rein and backwards, it's the same. So you can do that also in the, how much time? You can also do that in the groundwork. You stand next to your horse, the rein like a bozal, squeeze your reins together. In the beginning, probably you need to press a little bit on the head, but pretty soon the idea is that when he feels the reins against the neck, that he knows how to go backwards. And if he knows how to go backwards light, he will stop if he goes forward. He knows how to stop. I can guarantee you. That's why I have also on my reins, they are a little bit heavier. I don't use light reins like leather reins in the basic. I take rope reins and they are a little bit heavier, and I make knots on it that we can move so that we can touch the brachiocephalic, the big muscle here, one under the brachio and one above, on both sides. So when you start to lift, it's like your finger is going over this brachio. And I teach this already now with my young PRE when he was 1 year old. When he came to me, I started already with my finger to touch him there and to make a step backwards. So even when he is a year old, I have already my 7 secondary rider aids in my mind. So if I touch him, for example, just to be nice with him, I use my finger and tap, 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 and he comes. I give a goodie there. A year, 1.5 years old. But this is very useful later when you start to train your horse in riding. Which one is the next?
Direct rein. Then you can also stop with it.
Sorry?
You can also stop with a direct rein.
You can also stop him with a direct rein. Direct rein. So the horse has to learn without moving forward to flex the head 90 degrees. When he learns to flex the head and the neck 90 degrees, pretty soon you will also notice that he starts to look to your lower leg. And this is okay. It's really good because I also need the direct rein when I sit for the first time on my horse, that he can see me. Because when he looks in front of you and you sit behind the head, you sit in a dead spot. He cannot see you there. So if you can move light, not with pressure, because he's already tensed, because you are for the first time on his back, but if you can then tell him and he understands, there you are. What are you doing there? Nothing. Relax. And you can show this to both sides. This is also helpful mentally that he is aware that you are there. And because he knows you, he has a good relationship. He should have a good relationship with you on the ground. And then when he sees you on his back, he knows it's you. He will not do crazy things. If you have a bad relationship with your horse, it can be a surprise for you then. That is also for sure. Then.
The outside rein? I'm not sure if it's the outside rein or the focus rein.
Outside rein, okay. Let's say we take the outside rein. And then the horse goes forward. How can we teach an outside rein? He makes a forward movement. So then we have to pull to stop him, no? if we have a stop rein and we have a direct rein. Forward legs, eh? First we have to teach him to go forward. If you start to move a front leg and he's not able to go simply forward. And that's the first riding. Those three. Forward leg. I start to sit on my horses, but it depends a little bit on the conformation. 5.5, 6-year-old. Hanging, sitting. Until they are 6, 6.5, half a year, I train this. 1-2 minutes. In the beginning, simply in standing, backwards, flexion, and then bit by bit, the forward legs. And the forward legs, like I told you, that's why I want my horses first to understand the direct rein, that I can bring the head in this direction, light. Then I sit with this leg away from the horse. I lean towards this leg, towards this upper leg. And this leg here, and in my hand I have a whip here. I touch the shoulder and I lean in this direction so that he makes a few steps there. And he will stop in the beginning. It can happen that it's only one step, stop, repeat. 3 times, 3 is my magic number. 3 times in the same direction. Stop and relax, have a break. Prepare him to the other side, flexion. If I bring the head in this direction and I feel that he's searching for the balance, stay calm. Wait till he has the balance until you're soft on the direct rein. And then again, you lean, head in this direction, you open this leg, you make pressure with this leg and you tell, come, few steps. And after the second, third day, your horse starts to move. Don't let him move for half an hour. No, really few steps. You feel that he starts to do it on his own. Stop, relax. Backwards, relax. Flexion to the left, flexion to the right, dismount. Good for today. 1-2 minutes. And you repeat this 3 times, 4 times a week, 2-3 minutes. Before, of course, you do groundwork, you do versatile lunging, because you start to ride your horse. The horse should become in balance, horizontal balance. That's why before 5.5 and 6, you should do a lot of versatile lunging, versatile handwork. This in handwork, next to your horse. Up, reins loose, follow him like a passenger. Maybe you ask him to go there, but when you let the reins loose, he goes there. Doesn't matter. Maybe he goes to the exit. Yeah, but then you can practice the stop rein. You can practice flexion, the direct rein. So you can be very creative with this, but don't think about endurance. You need little steps, little attempts, but not too long. Yeah.
To be sure for me, versatile work means shoulder in.
No. Yeah, no, it's a swing. It's the swing from the spine.
Okay.
Shoulder in is with the next one. Indirect rein. Indirect rein is shoulder in.
I mean, what is versatile work at concrete? What are exercises I can do?
This is versatile work. You focus on this swing moment, on a circle, on the groundwork, yielding like yesterday with your Haflinger. I took him in the hand and I did versatile work. When he was light in the versatile work, we started to change into traversal. We teach him the traversal. But in walk, on the launch, you can train. You can start to train it in trot, in canter.
Yeah.
But first, he has to understand it on the launch. I do also a lot mobilization. Not a lot, but to explain the horse to move for the whip. So mobilization is that you are standing in front of your horse. You make him light with the head to the inside front leg. And from there, you start to tell him, move. You stand almost like a piler. And you tell him, move sideways for the whip.
Yeah.
Hind quarter. Yeah. First, you do it to the hind leg, and then you start to go to the leg of the rider, till he understands that he has to move for the whip. And from there, you start to move with your body and make the circle bigger. Bit by bit, you come to a circle on both hands, till you understand this from the hand, and then you start to send him away from you. In circling. But if you start also there, if you start with lunging and you send your horse away, you should be able to stop him and to tell him how to go backwards. Don't send your horse away for a longer time on a launch if you cannot stop him. That means if you are not connected with him, because you teach him to run away from you. If you start your young horse with a long whip and a launch and say, now go, 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 that is going away from each other instead of staying together.
Aber dann beginnst du auch mit Stopp und nicht von dir wegrennen, wenn du im Raumplan bist.
Ja, hast du gestern gesehen, nicht wegrennen. Und wenn ich sage wegrennen, kommst du auch wieder, wenn ich das frage. Wenn ich fühle, dass mein Pferd nicht mehr zu mir kommt, nadat ich gesagt habe wegrennen, dann stoppe ich direkt mit das. Dann bedeutet das, dass wir nicht mehr konnektiert sind. Und jeder Pferd ist anders. Da sind Pferden, die gerne weglaufen, Flüchttieren. Da sind auch Pferden, die gerne mit Menschen sein. Oder du musst eine gute Balance haben. Das ist, warum ich sage, kann das Pferd allein sein, ruhig sein, kann das Pferd wieder konnektieren mit einem Mensch und nach das kann er wieder allein sein. Dass das nicht ein Patron ist. Folgen. So, okay, da ist die Mensch, ich folge. Nein, ich wollte das nicht. Meine Pferde, die laufen weg von mir, die kommen wieder, Liberty should also be liberty for the horse. Liberty doesn't mean no rope, that is not liberty. Thus the horse has a choice. Was my answer good enough? Yeah. So, and the focus is always on this. This leg forward, this leg lifted, and in this direction. That's what we want. So in the beginning, the leg will go in this direction.
Verbal movement is like in shoulder in, but you don't call it shoulder in, because
No.
shoulder in is an exercise you can play down.
To bring the shoulder in.
Yes, but the effect, I think the effect from the movement is the same.
The exercise, like you all know, shoulder in, that's the same. That's a shoulder in, like the exercise shoulder in the academic art of riding. It's a versatile movement.
Versatile movement, yes.
It's a versatile swing.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I tell you, do shoulder in. And then you do shoulder in, like in academic art of riding. And then I say, can you bring the shoulder in? I do shoulder in. Yeah, but can you bring the shoulder in? You see the confusion? You go on the wall and you do shoulder in. And then I say, bring the shoulder in. That means that can you bring your horse away in a shoulder in, away from the wall? That's another exercise, no? Shoulders in. So I move there, the shoulder goes there. Now shoulder in means the shoulder should go there. So versatile, making transitions between versatile and shoulder in. That's one of the most important exercises for your young horse to make him aware of the balance on his shoulders. Shoulder in, squeeze your legs. There. That's the shoulder in. First arm movement. This is the front leg. Come in. So little movements. Out, out, in. Out, out, in. Change the bending. Do it on the other hand. This is what we do already in the basic riding. And this is straightness training. That's the horizontal, working on the horizontal and vertical balance. If your horse can yield for your leg in the versatile schwung, and you can catch the outside shoulder and bring him back in.
If you need a picture, that's what I was doing first in the morning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Getting him outside and on the head, shoulder, in again.
Yeah. What you did was with the direct rein. So when the horse is not soft in the poll, we work with the direct rein and the inside front leg. But it should develop to an indirect outside rein and the outside front leg. That's the end result of versatile lunging. But if you start with versatile yielding and the horse goes stiff in the poll, then it's good to work when the inside front leg forward is come. Search back down. Search for this inside front leg. Search for this inside front leg. Then suddenly, we did it also in your lesson to get the lightness forward, the softness on the direct rein. But that all belongs to this here, direct rein. Which one first? Doesn't matter to me. If you start with indirect rein, bring the shoulder in. Yeah. After you do then the yielding, possible that the horse can do it directly in movement. But for me, you start with yielding leg, the horse starts to yield, stop your horse. And the next thing is that you try to bring the shoulder in. Or you bring first the shoulder in, and then you start with yielding. But they belong a little bit to each other to make it better. Soften the poll rein. Das Genick.
She was asked for yielding. I know it.
What?
Was yielding?
Yielding is weichen. Schenkel, yeah. Don't say that in the academic art of riding. Schenkel weichen is without bending.
Yeah.
That's what, you wanted to do that yesterday. There on the wall with your Haflinger. Das ist Schenkel weichen. So you go almost 90 degrees to the wall and you say, come on. With no bending. That is not versatile yielding. Eh? Then I corrected you and say, not so. Yeah, that was a very good example how not to do. Yeah. Yeah, you understand? And this is with your calf. Yielding. So you turn your inside heel to the outside front leg when the horse swings down. There. There. You don't do this. Because then we have this wrong rotation. No, not you go against the right rotation. And also when you do this, you lift your inside upper leg, which means that you become heavier on your outside upper leg. That is going against. Do you follow me? I see it. You looked and you said, but I see a no in your. When an inside leg, I'm the horse now, goes forward, the hip turns, the back is making this movement. Yeah? So if you do the yielding, and I sit now on my horse, and I have this rotation, the ton, the bin where I sit on. Vielleicht muss ich das in Deutsch sagen. Da ist ein große Tonne. Sagt man das, Tonne in Deutsch? Der Brustkorb. Du sitzt auf diese große Tonne und die große Tonne macht so eine Bewegung, wenn das innere Hinterbein nach vorne kommt. Und dann, deine innere Schenkel sollte nicht das machen, die Tonne macht das und du machst das. Das bedeutet, dass du dein innere Oberschenkel hebst, leichter machst. Das bedeutet, dass du mehr Gewicht auf deine äußere und dann machst du eine Gegenbewegung. Und dann ist die Bewegung von das Hinterbein nicht so komplett. Ja? Was? Rückwärts reiten. You ride backwards.
She asked. Sometimes they say maybe like this.
Make it wrong if you make this. How you expand?
Yeah, okay. And then focus leg. But for me, it's also okay when they say bending around the inside leg. You see, that is what we use in academic art of riding. But for me, it's more this focus leg than bending around. It's also mental attention. Hey, you're not with me. So and maybe it's okay that my horse is bending around his leg, but when I feel, but I don't have you mentally, then I can use my other leg and say, to get the feedback, hey, you're back with me.
Check.
To check. Yeah, it's also this a little bit. Yeah.
A question for the soft of the pole. Is that what she did with her horse at the start?
Yeah, she is very on a high level. Yeah. She lifts the rein and no, not this, not falling on the front legs. This horse is doing nicely. From here, this, here, not doing this.
Okay.
In the beginning, it's okay that the horse is doing when he get light, but the idea is that he only is doing this.
Okay.
Not falling on the chest, not falling on the front legs. That's why in the riding, we do this a little bit. We open the hands, that there is no connection with the neck, that we don't, this is a stop rein connection with the neck. So we take the reins away from the neck and we make seat forward and the lower leg 2 times focus leg. So you bring your leg forward and you lift embracing 8. You lift the chest and you do choop and you let go.
Okay, that's how I do it.
That's the process. First in standing, sorry?
It's pretty advanced, soft in the pole, no?
This is pretty advanced, and it's necessary that the horse understands this lightness in the pole. The lightness in the pole has to come from, like we saw in her lesson, with nothing, no neck rein, and the horse became soft in the pole. That's because the hind legs are coming forward. But a young horse, there will be moments that you have to say, this is not right, you go too fast or whatever. And when you do this, I want my horse to understand, okay, instead of doing this. When they do this, they drop the chest. When they know how to follow the rein, they at least are not dropping the chest. And the back. Yeah. So, but I'm so happy, guys, that you ask the right questions. You are with me. I feel more and more you are with me. Sometimes I have the feeling, what the hell, what am I doing? I come back next time and then I see, they don't get it. Okay, we start all over again. So, no, thanks for that. I feel you are with me. That's really a great feeling as an instructor. Yeah.